Take 22. No, not really. Today, I just wanted to share with you about something. Have you ever been to an exhibit that excited you, that just got your artistic juices flowing and you wanted to try some of what they do? I was lucky enough to go to Kerrville, Texas, to the Western Museum of Art. My brother and sister-in-law took me, and I was so happy that they took a day off and drove me down and we could see the exhibit. We had a lot of other fun too, which I won't include here, but I want to tell you about the exhibit and I want to show you some of the things I've created from it. If you're going to anywhere close to Kerrville, Texas, not far from San Antonio or Austin, this is a show I would recommend. Know about it. If it wasn't for Hillary, a friend of mine said we need to go to Texas and see Quang Ho and Scott Christensen, and I said, when is it? And she said it was July through September, and she goes, how about we go in August? I went, oh, August is the hottest time of the year. Well, I ended up going in August to see Mom, and when I went to Kerrville, Texas, it was 104 degrees, 108 real feel. So I was really glad the museum had air conditioning. But the exhibit at the Western Museum of Art in Kerrville was amazing. They had an exhibit of Scott Christensen and Quang Ho, and I had seen their exhibit when it was at the booth several years ago. But this was a whole different array of artwork that's all new, and they had been working on it for a few years to accumulate enough for the show. And when you can get up and close and just look at the brushwork and the texture of the paint, and I mean, and we could take pictures. One of the things that I was really interested in is what a curator of the museum told me when he was walking through. He asked how we liked the exhibit, and I said, oh, I just love it. Saw it, the one in the booth, and he said, oh, it took us 4 years to get them. And so he was excited about the two artists and was curious at first. He'd just gone after Scott Christensen to start off with and asked him to do a solo show. And Scott said, well, how about I share it with Quang Ho? And that way he didn't have to complete so many new pieces. And he and Quang Ho are friends anyway. And their styles are so different. Scott Christensen's, you look at his and you can see so much depth in it. It just goes on for miles and miles and miles. And Quang Ho's is more like in your face. And that's not a bad thing. It's just he has so many things going on in his painting. There's no way the photographs are going to show that, but there's layers and layers and layers of paint that when you look up close, it's such a jumbled mess, and you back away and you go, whoa, that is something. But when you look at it up really close, you can't see that. And Scott does that some in his work, but Quang Ho does that a lot. And so it's just really interesting to see the two views. And I brought back the catalog of the show. I'll put a link in the show notes if you want to buy your own catalog. They were $22 plus, for you it would be plus shipping. But I just love the fact every one of the paintings except for one, and I'm not sure which one it was, is in this catalog. The first half is Scott Christensen, and the last is Quang Ho. I had so much fun looking at the work that when I got home, I wanted to try to do some work in their style. The only thing I had with me was gouache and watercolor, because I was testing out what I was going to do when I go to Italy, and it was perfect. Gouache and watercolor was just what I needed just to practice some of what I saw. Go to a museum or an exhibit and look at art that inspires you and come back and make some from it. Now, these were copies of work they were doing. They are not for sale. I don't have a right to sell them. I'm doing them to learn. And I'm not taking large things on the plane, and I don't want to haul a bunch of art supplies. So I'm going to work small. 5x7 is the largest I'm taking for Italy. Take a look, be inspired, go create, and if anything I share is helpful, please subscribe. I appreciate so much those who subscribe, those who comment, tell me where you're from, what art medium you're into. So inspiring to see it, even solidify the fact that I don't have to take anything very big to Italy, and then I can come back and paint. And I will see you next week.